All right, ladies and gents. So let's kind of go over vertebrates briefly again. Remember, they're not as popular or as prevalent as our invertebrates. So some characteristics. They fit in this group called chordates, meaning backbone, okay? We talked about briefly that 530 million years ago is when we started realizing these vertebrates. Scientists have studied fossil evidence, and that showed that the creature was covered in armored plates and swam in a side-to-side motion. So characteristics we notice started with this chordate group, which is that phylum in the animal kingdom. So we've got an animal kingdom in the phylum called chordate, meaning backbone. So all these animals have the same characteristic of having that backbone. Remember, we have 5 groups: fish, snakes, frogs, birds, and mammals. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go through some characteristics of vertebrates, okay? Because they all have that backbone, okay? Your backbone actually runs all the way down the center of a vertebrate's back. It is formed by a bunch of smaller bone, and the bone is actually called a vertebrae. So each bone in your back is called a vertebrae. These small joints or cushions can be found between each vertebrae, one individual bone, giving us that flexibility to move. Each bone actually then has a small hole in the center that allows this nerve cord to pass through, and that goes all the way to your brain, right? We have, and other vertebrates have, an internal skeleton, okay? The backbone of a vertebrate is part of that internal skeleton called an endoskeleton, meaning inside. This skeleton helps support the body and protect all of our internal organisms, okay? Unlike insects, an invertebrate, and arthropods, okay, like our spiders, they have an exoskeleton, meaning the skeleton grows with the vertebrate and does not need to be replaced as they mature. Exo meaning outside. Scientists believe that's the reason why vertebrates grow larger than invertebrates. Think about that. We're pretty big compared to insects. So that's why they think that this happens. Okay, so going to kind of scroll down here. If we think about those 5 groups, our fish, our mammals, our birds, okay, amphibians, we are all similar in that aspect that vertebrates started forming 530 million years ago. Chordates, okay, are that phylum, meaning spinal cord, okay? They can be vertebrate and invertebrates, but they have to have what we call this nerve cord, okay? And that nerve cord is what sends messages all the way to our brain. So they have to have a backbone in order to be a vertebrate. They also have to have an endoskeleton. So all vertebrates have a backbone, an endoskeleton, meaning an inside skeleton to keep our internal organs nice and safe, right? And they also need to have a way to keep our conditions stable, meaning basically warm-blooded or cold-blooded. So those are characteristics of our lovely vertebrate group, okay? So you'll hopefully do really well on your quiz here and refresh your memory from the 5 classes of vertebrates and review those invertebrates and use your notes and enjoy.